when I was asking, what do you want to be? Somebody once said wants to be spark, want to be flame. Nobody was saying they want to be fuel. Okay, I think only one person said they want to be fuel. Nobody was talking about being air. So now imagine how that relates to whatever it is you're trying to build. So there's what they call team dynamics, right? Understanding, okay, you're working with 5 persons. How do you maximize their potential in such a way that the team becomes an A team? And do it in such a way that you're not just the boss to people working with you, right? You have that understanding. Every other person has that understanding. So they know who to go to for different things. They don't necessarily have to always come to you and say, we need to get this done. We don't know who to go. Then you are now the one telling them, okay, meet this person. They know, they understand all of that. And the same thing that happens in networking. For example, a lot of people have been saying, let's bring the networking salon to Lagos. In like when we did the first one in Benin, that was in 2022 or 2021. Somebody said, yeah, the next one is in Lagos. I did not, and the funny thing is that the networking salon started as something I wanted to do. We wanted to do in Benin, like let's just connect people because we're looking at Lagos and we're seeing that how that there are ecosystems that exist here in Lagos that makes it easy for people to access opportunities. And so I said, let's do the same thing in Benin. Let it be that if anybody is entering into Benin and they want to do anything, we have the quality people that can drive that kind of a thing, right? And so that was how it started. And then from there, Abuja, from there, Port Harcourt, we had one in Port Harcourt. From there, somebody said, let's do Lagos, let's do Lagos. And I was just in a normal slide into her DM. She just said, let's do it, let's do it. My mind was like, I'm not even finished thinking about whether we'll do it. The energy that is coming already, right? And that is exactly what happens when you lock energies with people, especially people that are thinking the same way you're thinking, or even thinking better than the way you're thinking, right? Thinking better than the way you're thinking. Some of you, I tell some of my prodigies, I tell them that when you want to do something, right, don't always think about yourself, right? Don't always think about yourself because there's a quote that I used to say. I used to say that when God created man, He created man with a vacuum. That vacuum is not for man to feel, it's for the other person to feel, such that it gives purpose to another person. For example, we're having this conversation here today. I'm not the owner of the work haven, right? I'm not the photographer or the person who is helping us curate all of this experience. So these are different sets of people finding purpose in just the fact that I want to bring people together. And so that's the way you should think about what you're doing. There's someone who wants to start maybe a career in video creation or content creation. You have the ability to stand in front of the camera and talk. Someone else wants to shoot videos. So the question is, how do you locate those kind of people? Usually it starts with a conversation. A simple thing as putting on your status that, okay, guys, I want to do this. If you're interested in this, right? GoABitFurther started in my room. I just woke up after having a dream. I was standing in front of an audience of over 1,000 people. And I woke up from that dream, I was sweating. And then I just said, and I had nurtured that idea for over 8 months. I just said, okay, what can I do? What can I do? I just designed flyer, put on my status that this is going to be the best. You see where I was talking about it as if I had 1 naira in my account, but I did not have 1 naira in my account. I was just in 200 level, still battling with house rent. And I put it on my status, and then Gift Omodiale, she just saw the post on my status and said, this is great, this is awesome. So you want to do this? I said, yes. Said, okay, let me bring your project manager. Really paid event. People signed up to be a part of it. Some of my friends that I knew from Abuja sent in money to sponsor people to attend. And that's why I had the first. It was after that first event that we now began to do other things with GoABitFurther moving forward. But the amazing thing is that on the day of the event, the person who covered the event, the speakers of the event, everybody in all of those things were people that I knew in my circle that I wouldn't have found, there wouldn't have been a way for us to work together if I did not go take that audacious step to put that thing out and say, this is what I want to do. So I'm daring you today, right? The reason why we said we want to talk about this is why I said we'll talk about public speaking instead of personal development, is because there's a way that networking, personal branding, and public speaking ties together, and it's in such a way that it's easy for, if you master it, not even master it, if you just tell yourself that you're going to take a step every day, you'll see the opportunities that you have access to. You one day you just sit down and be looking at, be like, conversation of how do you introduce yourself, how do you show up, there are all of those conversations. But the way I like to talk about networking is such that after you have figured out what you want to do with that relationship, eh, put it aside, right? Put it aside and figure out what value are you going to give to that person. And if you see one of the plaque that we brought, it says give and give. Because sometimes when we talk about giving, some people think they would reap where they sow. But sometimes you don't necessarily reap where you sow. Giving programs your mind in such a way, like what they say, that your brain doesn't know when you are learning. Like your brain just stops. Okay, we are learning something now. Let us focus. No, your brain is constantly learning. And the way you train your brain is in the things that you do. So if you train your brain, if you train yourself to act even when you don't feel courageous to act, your brain has learned how to act when you don't feel courageous to act. So guess what? The next day or the next time you are faced with a challenging experience, you are going to think up ways to do that thing. Why? Because you have trained your brain to do so. It's the same thing with giving, right? Some people say the universe has a way of rewarding. It is God that established the universe that way, such that it rains on the wicked, it rains on the good. But even the Bible says, he that had, right, much more will be given to him. He that doesn't have, that even that which he has will be taken away. Meaning that you see that there is something you have, right? So think that way. Okay, what do I have? And value can be anything. This young lady, for example, she reached out to me and said she wanted to be here today. I told her that she just recently graduated. I said this event is for like professional business executive, people are already doing something. And she said, and that what can she do? She was here to look at the space for us. Me, I was still in Benin, right? But she was here to look at the space. After now, she's going to have a conversation with Madam Bibi, which would have not been possible if she was not here right now, right? So look at what you can contribute. Somehow, in what you can contribute, people will validate your competence by the things you are contributing. This thing I'm saying to you, it's not something I read anywhere. It's my life. The person who invited me to be event manager for the event I managed over this weekend, I've been volunteering for that person for more than 3 years. Guess what? As volunteer manager. Because what I know how to do is to mobilize people. And then a conversation just came up about, okay, you cannot be the manager of this event because your hand is too in other things. Get someone to manage this event. And that's how I got it. And I did not get it in my house. I was outside at the venue trying to look at the venue. That was where I got it. So find a way to look at what other people are doing, right? Sometimes when you hear money, people just freeze. Sometimes ask yourself, I cannot afford this thing, but what can I give? You see those things I put up, Some of you got really tired, like, ah, Mr. Andrew, we came here to relax. You cannot be turning our head with all these riddles, right? But it's basically to help you think, to see things differently. Some of you have never seen misunderstood, like, like you have never seen it in that way. And so it's the same way when you face challenges, or you're in a conversation with someone, they are talking to you, your mind begins to think differently about things, and then you begin to find solutions. Sometimes the ideas that come to you are not even for you. Some of you get ideas and you're like, how do I implement this idea? Meanwhile, that idea is for a conversation you are going to have with another person tomorrow. And then you are going to be speaking to that person, and then it is that idea you got yesterday that is the solution to the problem that person is talking to you about. Somebody called me yesterday. I was telling Shobande. Okay, I was telling Shobande. Somebody called me yesterday. I met her husband at TEDx Worry. Now I'm having a conversation with his wife. She runs an organization in the US that connects children to teachers. And she's talking to me yesterday, and she was saying, okay, when I told her about what I do, she said, okay. She actually thought that I do X, Y, Z, blah, blah, blah. So I now asked her, what are your challenges? I'm a problem solver. From talking with her, I shared some tools that she can look at. And then there's a conversation of, okay, I should develop a concept note. Do you understand? But the question is, how did the conversation start? It did not. If she said, "Oh, okay, I thought you do X, Y, Z," will not be. Oh, okay. And then I say, "Okay, no, ma, I don't do X, Y, Z." Okay, okay, thank you very much for your time. That door basically just shuts. I might not be the one offering her the solution at the end of the day, but I know someone who will offer her that solution. That's how I'm thinking. And so sometimes value is the relationship that you already have with other people. Value is your free time. Value is your data. But if you check those people that are there, you will see that they have a circle, right? Every one of them have a circle, right? I don't want to call names, but you know that most of the people that you look up to, they have a circle of friends that they are usually around, that kind of a thing. How did those people get there? How did those people get there? I don't want to call names. How do those people get there? They have been friends from way back. Some of them belong to similar circles. And usually those circles grow, they grow because they are contributing value one to another. You see that one person is doing a project. I think it's very much known in the comedy industry, right? You see that, especially in Benin, I've noticed that when one person is doing a show, you will not see a show from any other person. And usually you see some of them on the billboard of that one. And so you just know that, okay, on certain period of the year, this person is doing a show, something like that. That circle. One day, those people now they are higher than where they are now. And other persons will be trying to get into that circle, not knowing how far those people have come, how long they've been. Even when, did not have all it took, right? So what am I saying? Now is the time for you to invest peer-to-peer networking, like your friends that you know who are doing things. Maybe you have not even started your own, but you have a friend who is trying to start something. Now is the time to connect with that person, find a way to help in any way. It's an information you have, it's money that you have, it's a space like this that you have, or it's light that you have, or it's camera that you have, or it's cap that you have, or it's nice sneakers. Person, find a way to lock in, to contribute value. So imposter syndrome is learned. Everything is learned, right? Procrastination is learned. Like I was saying, I said your brain doesn't know when you are learning. Your brain is constantly learning, right? And this is how you learn imposter syndrome. An idea comes to your mind, right? You don't talk to anybody about it. You don't sit down with yourself and look at the idea and look at where it's going to be in 5 years and break it down to where you are today and see what you can do today to begin to move in that